natural selection. Never hugs or connections. I just constrict and reject them. I make my snake goes transactions and get my persistent.
MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. Truer words have never been said. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, today is Tuesday, June the 21st of 2022, day 172 of the year, and only 193 days left to go. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is fantastic since the last 23 hours since we hung out. If not, it might have been longer, and who the hell knows what's been going on since then. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at RadioBig.fm, because that's always important for us to talk about, because, you know, they're our sister station, as people would like to say, sister station. I mean, why can't they be the brother station? But hey, sister station will work as well. So there you go. That's what's going on. Anyway, so let's start talking right away of what is going on according to the world of the trends, because that is something that we talk about as we have the discussion on this little Eagle show. That is for sure. Anyways, according to the trends of what we could see from yesterday was Breaking My Soul was trending ahead of the announcement of Beyonce would release a new track at midnight on Tuesday. So does that mean like a few hours ago, or does that mean like in a few hours from now? I don't know. And Greetings was trending on Missouri Senator candidate Eric Greetings launched a campaign ad that called supporters to hunt rhino Republicans in name only. Okay, there you go. There's that as well. What else did we see? Hashtag World Refuge Day was trending to correspond with the United Nations holiday of the same name. So that was occurring yesterday. And then hashtag Batman Takes Me Down, hey now, included in a hilarious thread of people explaining what information Batman would exploit if they would ever became a Gotham villain. So there you go. The Gotham villain exploiting all the kind of fun stuff that you might be looking for. So there you go. That's the thing. That is the sequence. That is the convo. That is the move and groove. That is the lesson, if one may, as we are talking. So there you go. So that's what was trending according to everything. So anyways, if you want to get involved with the show, it's a pretty simple process. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That is callinradio.com. That will get you moving and grooving according to the information that we have. So that should be a pretty simple process in regards of doing that. Also, if you want to hang out, do the visual radio aspect of it, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and then click on the button that says visual radio. The call-in radio button is right there, so that makes a pretty simple process, because if you do anything inside of the social media aspects, I have no way of seeing it in real time, with the exception of the call-in radio aspect. So there you go. Now I have shared that with you. If you are not familiar with how we do our little thing here, it's a pretty simple process. What we do is we talk about safety in the news and safety, and then we kind of put it all together in one lovely package just for you. Yeah, just for you. One lovely little package right there. So with that being said, I think it's time for us to bring in our friends and colleagues that talk about what is going on inside of the world of the news. So why don't we do that right now?
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Britain's biggest rail strike in more than 30 years is underway. Tens of thousands of RMT union members are walking out in a dispute over pay, jobs and conditions. Only a fifth of services are running and half of all lines are closed. But Kevin Groves from Network Rail says they'll keep talking to unions ahead of more planned walkouts on Thursday and Saturday.
Although the progress is slow and they are small steps, there is still a slither of hope that we might find a way through this, and we're not going to walk away while there's still that chance, because there are 2 more strikes planned this week, and if we can avert those, then that's what we're focused on doing to try and minimise the disruption.
Emmanuel Macron's meeting political opponents on Tuesday after failing to win a parliamentary majority in legislative elections. The French president will need support from rivals if he's to fulfill his government's reform agenda. Protests against India's new army recruitment scheme are likely to intensify, with major unions calling for a nationwide strike this week. Thousands have taken to the streets in recent days protesting against the program that seeks to induct 17-year-olds into the Indian Army for a 4-year stint without any promise of permanent employment. Ishan Gerg reports.
Well, the government has taken what you could call a stick and carrot approach. First of all, let's talk about the stick. The Indian Army has said that all the people who are going to be registering for this new 4-year scheme are going to have to submit an affidavit saying that they haven't been part of the protests that have erupted all across the country. Secondly, they have also said that the scheme has already been notified, so it is certainly going to go ahead. There is also news coming in from the state of Uttar Pradesh, where the authorities have said that the people who participated in protests and vandalized public property, they will have to pay back for the damages that they have done. But at the same time, there is also the carrot approach. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday took an accommodative stance and said that there are some decisions that are taken by the government that may seem like a difficult one in the short term, but he tried to convince the youth that it will be a good decision not only for their future, but also for the Indian armies and for the countries.
South Korea is set for a second test launch of a domestically produced space rocket. It comes 8 months after the first test successfully blasted off, but failed to place a dummy satellite in orbit. Davian reports.
The launch of the Nuri rocket from the southern coast of South Korea was delayed from last week due to a problem with an oxidizer tank sensor. The 3-stage rocket uses only Korean technologies and is the country's first domestically built booster. The country's last, launched in 2013 after multiple delays and failed tests, was jointly developed with Russia. Nuri will eventually put 1.5-ton payloads into orbit 600 to 800 kilometers above the Earth.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, a deeper look at the political crisis in France, where President Emmanuel Macron suddenly has found himself without a majority in the country's parliament. After winning a second term in the Élysée Palace just weeks ago, voters in the weekend's parliamentary elections delivered him a massive blow by backing the country's opposition far-left and far-right candidates. Jean-Luc Mélenchon of the left-wing alliance says he'll call for a parliamentary no-confidence vote in Macron's government. And Delano de Souza, a senior journalist at French state channel France 24, says the president's way forward is looking grim.
There is real danger of paralysis in government. Essentially, what we could end up seeing is Emmanuel Macron could end up dealing with parties on a case-by-case basis. That's how he can consult Parliament. For example, if it's an immigration-related issue, what we could see is the president try and reach out to the right, or if it's a social policy, then he would try and reach to the left. Another thing that Emmanuel Macron can do is wait for his popularity to rise in the polls, and then he can dissolve the National Assembly and have elections again if things don't go according to plan for him with the new makeup of Parliament.
One of the big winners on Sunday was Marine Le Pen, the far-right candidate who lost the presidential election to Macron, but whose party is now in a powerful position to bedevil the president's plans. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Britain's biggest rail strike in more than 30 years is underway. Emmanuel Macron's meeting political opponents on Tuesday after failing to win a parliamentary majority in legislative elections. Protests against India's new army recruitment scheme are likely to intensify, with unions calling for a nationwide strike. And South Korea is set for a second test launch of a domestically produced space rocket. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you. It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with Home Title Lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out doing the things that we get to do. because, you know, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about the things that we get to do because, you know, that's important. For the aspect of this show, I think it's important. Yeah, it is important. So let's continue talking a little bit morsey here because that's going to be what's going on. Anyway, so let's talk about it. More details are emerging about Elon Musk's vision for Twitter. Multiple outlets have got the inside scoop from people who attended Musk's all hands Twitter town hall last Thursday. Musk said that he may not step into the CEO role himself, but expects that the company to take his direction as the owner. His focus would be on the profitability of the damn thing, of course, which could also mean layoffs since Twitter persistently runs in the red. But Musk did not, did note that anyone who is a significant contributor has nothing to worry about. Dashing cold water on hopes of, particularly at people working from home, Musk said that he is in favor in-person work over remote. So there you go. A guy that is a multi-billionaire, the richest guy on the planet at the time of this reading, who says, hey, no, no working remote. Hey, that's his gig. That's for him to decide what he wants to do with his orgies and going from there. And I did say orgy. I don't want it to sound like something else because once I did say it, it did sound like something else, and I get it. Anyway, so let's continue talking. The headline from 3 weeks ago: Germany calls for G7 to phase out coal power generation to bid the halt of climate change. Here's the headline for Germans' plan to coal U-turn gas funding to offset Russia's cut. So I don't know. The change of heart comes as Russia decreases its natural gas output to much of Europe. So worth noting, a rep from Germany's economy ministry says that the country remains committed to phasing out all coal by 2030, remembering that Germany used to be the nuclear powerhouse but took all reactors offline in the recent years. So a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on there. So I don't know. I don't even think that, that we should talk about fuel prices because I think that I just get people to go a little bit antsier in regards to talking about it. But, people are feeling pain at the fuel pump. That is for sure. We could talk a lot about stuff over there, but I don't think that adding to it is going to change anything. For anyone, as we are having the combo. Anyways, the International Swimming Federation has drawn a line for transgender swimmers. The body that oversees international swimming competition, and will not only permit transgender swimmers who transitioned before they turned 12 years old to compete in women's events. While the policy does not affect anyone currently in competitive program, it stops controversial transfer swimmer Leah Thomas from the University of Pennsylvania from elite competition. By the way, Caitlyn Jenner chimed in on Twitter agreeing with the policy. I took a lot of heat, but what's fair is fair. If you go through male puberty, you should not be able to take medals away from females, period. What do you think with Jenner's point of view? Do you agree or disagree? Something to think about.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
So there's a question that is around and about and is popping around. So I think I should ask the question because it is something that I am seeing out there with news sources. Will Pope Francis resign? Yeah, you did hear me right there. His predecessor, Pope Benedict 16, broke centuries of tradition by stepping down from the role after less than 8 years rather than carrying it out until his death. Francis has had the job for more than 9 years now. Francis, who's 85, is rumored to be in poor health and confined to a wheelchair as a result of ongoing knee pain. Just last month, Francis reportedly told a group of bishops that rather than have the operation on the knee, he just resigned completely. He also recently canceled a trip to Africa. Add to this report that a meeting of cardinals has begun in Vatican, which itself is rather unusual. So a lot of stuff to think about. as we are talking there. Anyways, you know what I forgot to do because it's been a hot minute. So I guess I should do it now. We didn't talk about what's going on in the charts. We did not talk about what were the top 5 songs according to Spotify and according to iTunes. I have totally lost my mind with music being one of my favorite things to talk about, and I totally forgot to do this. So I think I should probably do it now to make sure that I can catch up for what I didn't do before. Yeah, I think that's how I was supposed to say that. That sounded pretty okay to me in regards to what I was doing there. So let's do this right now at this moment. According to the charts at number 5, yes, at number 5 according to iTunes, Future featuring Drake and Thames, Wait For You. At number 4, Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill. At number 3 is Lizzo, About Damn Time. At number 2 is Jack Harlow with First Class. And at number 1 is Drake with Sticky. So let's talk about it from the other side of the equation. Let's talk about what's going on according to the world of Spotify. At number 5 is Drake with Sticky. At number 4 is Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill. A Deal With God is, the little add-on there. At number 3 is Harry Styles' As It Was. At number 2 is Drake featuring 21 Savage with Jimmy Cooks. And at the number 1 spot, according to Spotify, is Joji with Glimpse of Us. So there you go. That's what's going on inside of the world of music and entertainment. If you are so inclined to what the hell's going on over there, I think that's important. Anyways, I think it might be time to talk about the Market Beat Minute. So let's go ahead and bring John Smalls in, and let's do that.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Equities broke out of a downtrending channel to the downside last week in evidence of mounting fear about the economy. The FOMC was forced to hike rates by 75 basis points in what some would call a surprise move. Others, however, would say the FOMC is still behind the curve, and at least one more, if not 2 more, 75 basis point hikes were needed. Regardless of the pace, the takeaway for the market is that inflation is still out of control, and aggressive rate hikes are making the cost of business more expensive. In this scenario, economic activity can be expected to contract, and there is evidence of that already. The index of leading indicators fell for the second month by 0.4%, suggesting an economic recession is already in play. This week will be a hurdle for the market because of how little new information is set to be released. On the economic front, there are only 2 data points due out, and both are from the housing sector. On the earnings front, there are only a handful of confirmed reports, and very few from companies other than home builders. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on inside of that world. So here's what I got. The Dow was minus 38.29 or 0.13%, and the S&P was plus 8.07. That would be 0.22%. We're mostly flat on Monday, while the NASDAQ picked up about 152 points at 1.43%. West Texas Intermediate fell $8 to $109 a barrel, while Brent crude was flat at $114. The national average of cost of a gallon of gas dropped again to $4.98. I mean, I don't think that that's anything to call home about, but there you go, $4.98 a gallon there. And Bitcoin picked up 186.20 cents in value, so about 0.91% on the things that is going on around and about inside of that world. Anyways, it is currently 24 minutes past the top of the hour. If you were just wondering on what the hell is going on inside of that thing, because we need to talk about that. Anyway, so circling and moving and grooving and taking a look at what is going on inside of the world, I think it's time to talk about this. It's time to talk about some things that are not so common, so let's do this. Not a fan, although it is tempting during those hot, humid summer nights to shut yourself in a dark room with your fan running. You might want to rethink this strategy. Yes, we need to talk about this during these hot summer months and me just coming back from the desert. Why? According to a sleep advisor, aside from adding to the electricity bill, it can also have a negative impact to your sleep. The sleep publication says that fans blows dry air around the room, which could lead to a number of concerns, much as dry skin and sinus issues. Quote, if the dryness is particularly extreme, it can result in your body producing excess mucus to compensate. Then you'll be more susceptible to blockage, stuffiness, and sinus headaches. Another possible complication is waking up with sore muscles because of the concentrated air. Cool air can make your body tense up and cramp. Although that admittedly it is the extreme case, sleep advisors suggested not spending the night with a fan cranked up if it's triggering any allergies or asthma symptoms. If you're experiencing dry skin, eyes, mouth, or sinuses issues, you could also consider getting a fan with automatic shutoff timer. What about a fan that just rotates? Would that work? I mean, I'm just, that kind of goes side to side type of thing. I don't know. What if you have an air conditioner on inside of there too? I mean, I never know about these things. Anyways, it'll take the dry skin and the cramps as long as it drowns out the sound of her snoring. I mean, I guess that would be a good thing, depending if your partner snores or not. I survived COVID twice, so I think that I'll be all right dealing with the fan. And last but not least, I'm sure that blowing 98% humidity air around last night won't dry out my skin too much. I mean, I guess that's one way to think about it. So should we talk about this? I think we should, because it is time to talk about some weird stuff, because that's what we do here. Wiener bun conundrum. Yeah, the wiener bun conundrum. And no, I have not lost it. I am not on my rocker going, what the hell's going on? Anyways, if we can solve the climate crisis, create a world of peace, and end the pandemic, at least there's this, or at least if we can't end these other things that I'm referencing, two companies have banded together to end the numerical mismatch between hot dog buns and wieners. Yes, brokered as part of Heinz Hot Dog Pack, a deal with that will see the bread maker and maker wonder sales pack of 10 buns from grocers in Ontario, which will match up nicely with the 10-pack Heinz Wiener normally sold in stores. The buns will be available starting on Thursday, following a year-long online petition that garnered more than 34,000 signatures. So this proves my point that you can get a signature for anything if you really put your heart behind it. Kraft Heinz said that it felt that it was our duty as the world's most iconic ketchup to rally our passionate fans and champion the change of the age-old issue of unequal buns to wiener packs. Yeah, this is a news story. I mean, I don't know how the hell this is a news story, but that is a news story. Wanderer said that his chance will finally give hot dog fans what they've longed for. Yeah, because that's what I've been thinking. I've been longing for that. Anyways, actually, what a hot dog fans are longing for is a way to stop the yucky, watery goop that comes out before the mustard. In hindsight, they should have mustered up the courage to do this long ago, but we'll relish in it anyways. Glad that they finally decided to catch up. Sorry for the dad jokes, but who could frankly have enough of this stuff when we're talking about it? Seriously, I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff to do and talk about.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
I don't even know sometimes on how some of these things that we talk about hit this side of the equation, how they hit this side of everything that's going on, because it's just like, this was really something that someone has dedicated their hard work to before we got to it, before we did something there about it. Anyways, before we get into the main news story, I want to talk about this real quick. I want to tell you this, even though this is not something we would normally talk about on this show. Let me tell you about the last 10 years' top summer songs. In 2012, Call Me Maybe by Carly A. Jepsen was, ranking as one of the summer songs. In 2013 was Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke featuring T.I. and Pharrell. In 2014 was Fancy by Iggy Azalea. In 2015 was Cheerleader by Omi. In 2016 was One Dance by Drake featuring Wizkid. In 2017 was Despacito, the remix with Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin Bieber. In 2018 was My Feelings by Drake. In 2019 was Old Town Road, Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. In 2020 was Rockstar by DaBaby. And in 2021 was Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. So there you go. You can find a complete list dating all the way back to 1975 if you'd like to do so by just going to tinyurl.com And all you have to put in is 37CMZMTY. Yeah, because that's an easy one to remember. So what is your best bet for this year? Is it going to be Lizzo About Damn Time? Nikki, you're not Nikki, you are featuring Dazzy with Sunroof. I mean, I don't know. What is it going to be? Is it going to be Harry Styles as it was? I don't know. A lot of stuff to think about as what it could be. Not something I would normally talk about on this show, but I figured, hey, the list is there, so it won't hurt anybody in regards of talking about it. It's about that time to do that thing that we do currently around this time, because it is currently 30 minutes past the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and get into our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So, and we talk, and we move, and we groove, and we talk about a little bit of everything here. But when we talk, and I ask this one question to you, what comes to mind when I say the word revolution? Seriously, what comes to your mind the moment that I mention revolution? Because it can tie into so many things. You can think about revolution as revolving. You can think about revolution as war. You can think about revolution from so many different aspects in life. A forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system, or an instance of revolving is what the dictionary says. Yes, that's that Oxford Language Dictionary, just in case if you're wondering where the hell I'm pulling that one out of my hat. But many moons ago, we talked. We had the convo. We had the consideration in regards of talking about this. And I told you from the very beginning that what I would love to see here, what I would love to see happen, is what I would deem a safety revolution. I would call something to change, to move forward. What I would deem, hey, this needs to be different than what it was previously. And listen, there's a lot of stuff that can come to mind as we talk about this. And when I mentioned this, I am so tired of seeing so many different things inside of our little industry here not change for the better. Listen, I love that some organizations hide behind the veil of being a nonprofit, but they don't really do anything for the greater good of what we're doing. Yeah, I'm talking about greater good here. Between you and I here, I think I can say this without getting into too much issues. I'm amazed on how many organizations reach out to me to have conversations about doing things with them, but want to throw out right away that they're a nonprofit. But to have anything to be involved with them, if you were reaching out to them, easily for their top tier sponsorship, they're normally close to the $100,000 mark, or we'll talk about the six-figure mark in regards of doing that for a year of sponsorship. I don't know if you deal with a lot of nonprofits, but that does not sound very non-profitable to me. When we can talk about how you do your accounting from that point on, if you would like to do that, but that might piss people off. But let me not get too sidetracked here. The revolution that we need to bring to our little org, our little thing that we do, our little career point, our little thing that we look around at, needs to be different. It needs to be brought in by the revolution that you would like to see. It needs to be brought into the things that we need to change within our industry. And the fun part is that we sit back and so many people are so concerned on who is going to get there first, opposed to focusing on what is most important. The important part of doing a safety revolution consists of a lot of things. Number one, and most importantly, is making sure that people get home safer than what they were, or in better condition than what they were when they arrived to work. The also is to make things cost effective, that is easily accessible to everyone in and around on what you're doing. I mean, it's amazing to me that you want to go to some of these events and they have these high ticketed prices that are not for everyone. And yes, don't get me wrong, that I understand that the organizations that are putting on do not care about travel expenses for people going out and about, or even about how the information is acquired. And I know that these things cost money to build out. I get it. But what is the cost-effective format of doing this? I mean, if we start going into this realization side, then not everybody's going to be able to do this super expensive aspect of things. How would that work? How open are people to the idea of pay what you can afford? I mean, that is not going to make anyone rich, but guess what? It will make them rich in information about what is going on. Because if you truly do care about the greater good, as people do go out there and claim with some of these nonprofits, well, then we know what they're there for. Opposed to it, there must be a high charge for you to be able to interact with what we have going on. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Some of these programs are great, the people that do, but don't use it behind the veil of nonprofit. So to do this revolution, we need people like you. Yes, people like you that do the work day in and day out and start building into this community. Start building on what is going on. Start building these programs that are essential to workers that may not be able to afford it. Listen, I'm going to tell you, if you interact with a small mom and pop organization, they are not going to be able to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to send someone to an event for safety. Just normally how it goes. So what if you could be that person that changes the whole thing? What if that revolution is something that you start? Listen, I will tell you, revolutions start by the individualized people. Yes, we can get together as a group and talk about it. We can get together as a group and start moving forward. But there has to be an idea and something to move forward with. And listen, commercialism seems to be such a big thing. And don't get me wrong, I understand that we work to make money. I don't want that to be misconstrued. But let's look at it in the format on how do we make the world better by starting this revolution inside of the world of safety. Now, that is something to think about. And you can sit there today and go, man, you're really off your rocker. Well, you can think that, but you can agree with it or not agree with it. I'm a guy behind a microphone that would love to see a revolution happen.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, The Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the law site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN. There you go, 43 minutes past the top of the hour. As you and I are hanging out. Oh yeah, you've heard this one before. I like this one a lot. This is Pseudo with Viper, or The Viper. Oh yeah. Thank you to Pseudo for allowing us to play this one here. This one is readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Oh yeah, the full mix here. Good times. Okay, just one more. Take a listen. I'm a VIP. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's the world that we live in. Anyways, thank you for the messages that are coming across inside of Call-In Radio. Really do appreciate it. But, I do get a little passionate about the stuff that I do. Yes, I normally try to give away everything that we do for free. Yes, the radio station's free. All you have to do is put in your time into it. So are the streamers. The only thing I think we charge for around here seems to be Safety FM Plus, and I think that is a nominal fee, in regards to what we do there. So there you go. And yeah, that's the other thing. Questions do come about all the time of, when are you doing your next speech? When are you doing your next conference? When are you doing your next live event? I know it's been some time since I've done one of these virtual events. I guess I should probably get back on the hopper and doing some of those, but it's just been a hot minute. And as far as live events go, we should probably start talking about that relatively quick. Give me a week or two, and we'll start grinding on that in regards to what we're going to do here. And I'll throw some ideas your way, and then you can tell me what you're thinking. Anyways, outside of that, let's get into some important stuff, because this is always important to talk about. Let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to afsp.org. That is afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Listen, there are people that are out there that struggle with mental issues in regards of their mental health, in regards of being depressed, in regards of having suicidal thoughts. Sometimes things do not go the way that you expect them to. And this is a struggle that people go through. And I should say people, I think that applies to everyone. Opposed to it just being, there are some people. It should be this, there are people that go out there and struggle. I am sure that, as you are aware, there are mental health days that I even take. Because what I think is that we don't normally talk a lot about this because of some stigma that someone has decided to put behind this thing, opposed to it just being real conversations about real life of what's going on out there. Anyways, that's something to talk about. That is something to discuss as we are moving and grooving here. Anyways, let's talk about some things that are going on inside of the world of the news, because I think that it is important for us to talk about this. Or should we just jump into some whack facts? Let's jump into some whack facts. Let's bring it down a little bit. The first day of summer in the northern hemisphere is always between June the 20th and June the 22nd. It varies due to the Earth's rotation, not exactly reflecting on our calendar year. China has the only one time zone. Oh crap, that's a thing. There are more French restaurants in New York City than there is in Paris, so maybe you should just go to New York the next time that you're wanting anything French. The original recipe for chocolate contained chili powder instead of sugar. I like that idea. Seriously, I've had chocolate with cayenne pepper in it, and I think it's absolutely marvelous. No, seriously, and I'm not saying that jokingly. By the way, 49 minutes past the top of the hour, just in case if you're wondering what the hell was going on. If you dim lights to reduce your appetite. So what if I just sat in the dark? Would that play? I don't know. Anyways, humans are specifically proven to be happier in the summer. So you see, this is my whole point. Move to somewhere where it's summer year long. Because I don't know. I think that's important for you to do. You don't have to follow my advice when it comes to that. It's just something to talk about. Oh, do we want to touch this? Let's talk about it. And understanding that when I talk about these things, sometimes, the writers get a little bit carried away. So let's talk about this. The House Select Committee on Economic Disparity and Fairness and Growth, which is a real thing and shockingly not actually something right-winger would make up to mock leftist bureaucracy. See how I told you it would go? Took a trip to Rio Grande Valley last week, where during the Rio Grande Valley, a central point for illegal immigration into this country. The Democrats on the trip toured the infrastructure projects near the southern border, but they didn't take time to see the border or any popular crossing points. Instead, they listened to local encampments that don't include running water, paved roads, or concrete foundation for their houses. Worth asking why? Why not? Well, here's why. There's been more than 1.5 million encounters with illegal immigrants since October. Only 1,613 were put into the Remain in Mexico program. It gets worse. 445,837 got away that we know of. Any Democrat getting within a sneeze distance of the border would have to confront the reality, but they don't. See why sometimes I don't talk about some of the stuff that's going on here. Because here's the way that I look at journalism. And maybe that's something we should talk about. I don't think you should blend one way or the other. I think you should just give the information without going, I need to put in my point of view. And don't get me wrong, these are writers that I interact with, and sometimes they're very passionate on what they're writing about. That's just something to think about. Anyways, let's talk about this. In the last year, former President Trump held office. The United States got about 20% of electricity from coal. Under President Joe Biden, the country generated 24% electricity from coal in 2021. The cost of natural gas has soared. Worth asking, how is the green agenda working? Just a curiosity question as we are talking. Anyways, before we get too deep into the weeds here, I think it is time to bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about what is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Taylor. Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I like that. Thanks, Taylor. Think about a big, huge project that you have to do. Think of all of the time you have to invest to get that done. It seems daunting. But you can break it into smaller, more reasonable parts and then whittle away at it each and every day until it's finished. I remember a manager who told me, "You can't eat an elephant all at once. But one bite at a time, over time, you could eat a herd of elephants." That's true. I'm not sure what elephant tastes like, and I'd rather keep it that way. But one day at a time, your project will also get finished. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello. I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. The second thing my father taught me was to love people and use things. Love, according to my father, was a verb, an action word, not a noun. Love is what you do, not just what you say. It's inviting a transient family who are down on their luck to have supper at your house. And if they are planning on sleeping in their beat-up old car, ask them to spend the night. Let them sleep in the boys' room. The boys can sleep on the floor for one night. It won't hurt them. I know. I was one of the boys who gave up his bed. 1 John said, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Lord, help us to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty helping others. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, 53 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. That is for sure as we are talking, moving and grooving. Anyways, let's get around here and take a look. No winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $290 million or $162.3 million cash payout. Anyways, last night's Powerball jackpot was $296 million or $166.1 million cash payout. So we will find out later today if somebody won the thing, because that's always important as we are talking. Let's continue talking a little bit more here. Let's take a look at something that happened back on this date. Let's take a look. Back in 2020, the WHO records a new record on a daily cases of COVID with 183,020. The majority, but the majority of the cases are from North and South America. And by the way, when I said the WHO, I don't want it to be thought of as the band, because that's not what we're talking about. So just in case. Anyways, Kylie Renee, Tristan Blaine, and Natalie and Lynn turned 23 today. That's some birthdays going on. Rebecca Black turns 25. Rico Reckless turns 31. Lana Del Rey turns 37. Sharana Burgess turns 37. Edward Snowden turns 39. Prince William turns 40. Brandon Flowers, 41. Chris Pratt turns 43. David Morrissey turns 58. And Bernie Kopel turns 89 today. That's all going on inside of the world of the birthdays, just if you're looking for some of those. Anyways, if you are looking for some days of the year to celebrate today, I have some of those for you as well. It's National Selfie Day. I think people celebrate that every day. National Daylight Appreciation Day. National Peaches and Cream Day. World Humanist Day. International Yoga Day. Not to be confused with International Yoga Day Pants Day. It's International Yoga Day. So, just in case. I wear my yoga pants all the time, just in case we were wondering on what was going on right there. So that's, that's what's going on days de celebration that you can do out there. Because I think that a lot of people are encouraged by those things as we are talking. So let's take a look. Do we got anything else that we want to talk about before we get out of here? Well, I told you yesterday that we had some new stuff coming, some new shows coming to safetyfm.com. I think that tomorrow we'll talk about it because I think I might have a little bit more information to share to give you some more breakdown. So I don't want this to be kind of like, oh, you're trying to bring us down the path in regards to talking about this. No, I'm going to tell you what's going on. And I think you might be a little bit more excited than what you expect in regards to what we're talking about here. Because I was excited when we got all this stuff ironed out. I just need to give you better dates for traction just for that information right there. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. If you need a random joke for today, I got this for you. It's a sure sign of summer if the chair gets up when you do. Think about that. My friends couldn't afford their water bill, so I sent them a Get Well card. What else do we have? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's on your summer bucket list? What was your funniest or worst experience with a dentist? I like my dentist. She's probably my fave, but I have my reasons for that. Let's see what else. If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. Question, believe it or not, over half of us say we never do this during the summer. What is it? Wear sunscreen. Oh, yes. Good for you if you can do that. I wear sunscreen like it's going out of style because I tend to burn relatively easy. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen to what we have going on today because we love when you're here. We love when you come around and hang out with us because without you, we could not do what we do around here because you are the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. Seriously. So important to everything that we do around here. So thank you for coming by and taking a this morning in regards to what we have going on. That is for sure. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Count your age by friends, not year. Count your life by smiles and not tears. Think about that one. That will get you kind of further down the path if you really start thinking about it. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.